What's up, everybody? Tinker here. Today we're not hitting the time machine. Today we're in current day. We're going to unbox the BRZRKR, created by Keanu Reeves. I don't know a whole lot about the BRZRKR, but he looks pretty friggin' awesome. So we're going to open him up. We're going to check him out. We're going to see what he's got.
Violence. I'm cursed and compelled by it. An undying harbinger of death. After centuries of bloodshed, I'm finally close to an answer. If I fight for the US government, they'll grant me my one desire. The truth behind my blood-soaked existence. And how to end it.
What's up, everybody? Tinker here. Deep in the south of South Carolina, where it's warm, it's hot, it's humid, and it's about to rain because it's the afternoon. Today we're going to do a current day unboxing. No time machine today. We're going to check out the BRZRKR from Keanu Reeves. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have no clue. I don't know anything about the BRZRKR. He just looked really, really cool, and he was not the easiest thing to find. I actually ordered him at Walmart and couldn't believe that they had one, and then they sent me an email and said they didn't have one after I paid for it. Then I looked on eBay, Amazon, some other places, and they were pretty expensive. And then I'm walking through the North Charleston Walmart, North Charleston, South Carolina Walmart, and they just had two sitting on the shelf. So it was a little bizarre, a little berserk, that we found the BRZRKR. All right, we're going to check him out, see what he's got. Like I said, I absolutely know nothing about it. I don't know if this is a older comic book that Keanu Reeves kind of revamped with his team, or that they just come up with them. So, cool figure, not easy to find, not cheap. So let's see what it's got. Nice window. I'm actually going to read the little window here real quick here, because again, I don't know a whole lot about BRZRKR. A war with no end. The man known only as B is a half mortal and half god, cursed and compelled to violence, even at the sacrifice of his sanity. But after wandering the world for centuries, the BRZRKR may have finally found a refuge, working for the U.S. government to fight the battles too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, B will be granted the one thing he desires, the truth about his endless blood-soaked existence and how to end it. BRZRKR, known as B. Sounds an awful lot like the Punisher mixed in with the Highlander. Let's take him out. See what we got here. Again, this is really painful for me still. I've been a mint box vintage collector for a long time.
Anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Get any tape on the top? Little tape on the top. The back of the box. Side. Front. Got a little hang tag, which obviously wasn't strong enough to hold it because that's torn. In case you people like to see everything again. So we're going to try to be gentle. Most of my unboxings with vintage stuff aren't very complicated, but a lot of newer figures have quite a lot of pieces. All right, I'm not throwing that box away like some people on YouTube because it looks cool. Well, first thing I'm going to tell you, man, there is a lot of stuff accessory-wise, and we'll kind of individually pull all that out. McFarlane Digital Toys. Then we got a B card, which that's basically the inside of the open-up jacket of the cover box. What if you like to, trying to get you a non-glared look. I want to pause and look. I don't really know what a McFarlane digital does here. That you can go online and, digitally redeem the comic book here. Again, I don't know anything about Berserker, but I do love some Keanu Reeves. I mean, seriously, the dude's Johnny Utah. The dude's Ted. The dude's John Wick.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Neo, for your real Matrix know-it-alls, Mr. Anderson. He's Johnny somebody as the quarterback and the replacements. John Constantine. Um, did I say? I said Jack Trapper from Speed. Johnny Utah from Point Break, one of the greatest movies ever. So let's go ahead and pull the Berserker out of his package a little. I don't know if we got any more tape here. We'll put that over there. All right. So we're starting off with the figure. He's pretty sweet looking. Oh yeah, everything's moving there. Arms go all around. Hands move. Does have a waist that moves. I'm assuming you can pull this vest off. Got gun holster. Feet move. It does have a cool little stand in here. Actually says Berserker on it. Oh wow, it moves that toes. So you can get you can get that full, all kind of goodness going on here. Again, I don't unbox a whole lot of stuff, so I don't want to start pulling on his head and breaking anything without reading directions. Imagine it can't be that complicated. Oh, it just pops right off. That's Keanu screaming. Then we got I guess you can just pull the face right off. Then we got normal Keanu, just chilling. With him being immortal and all, I guess he's kind of maybe like Wolverine's not immortal, obviously, but I guess maybe he gets blown up some and then he just heals back. I don't know how long it takes him to heal, because again, I don't know anything about the comic book or anything. I imagine this will be a movie before long. Keanu Reeves, I think, is about to hit 60, but he's still looking like he's ready to do some stuff with all his training all the way back from the Matrix. Man, John Wick's such a great movie franchise. You could actually, it looks like you pull the face off and put the other faces on. Again, I'm not going to do all that. Looks like you can pull his arm off. I'm not real sure about that arm right there. I don't know, maybe he's just holding his arm when it gets blown off. And you got the battle damaged, scarred up, bloodied up arm. We're going to go ahead and put his regular head back on. Again, does his face just pull right off? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it pulls right off. All right. So we're going to go with not having a horrible day, Keanu. Oh, I'm sorry, Berserker. B goes by B. No, anything you watch about Keanu Reeves, he's apparently like the nicest dude on earth. And he's still making money off the Matrix. He's made over $250 million in royalties on the Matrix. That's the regular Keanu face. Put his arms back in here. We got some different hands. More of a fist right there, and he's got a bigger hand right here. That fist right there is just like the other fist. Looks more like you're Yeah, let me try this. This is my fat hands. You can see a little better like that. Yeah, we'll use that from now on. Got a nice knife right there. Got a little blade on the, little blood on the blade. Looks like he's got his custom. I believe he uses a Glock 34 and John Wick, which is that longer barrel, longer slide, 9mm. Well, that might be a macked out SIG. Looks more like a SIG now. I'm looking at it, but I know he loves that. I believe it is a Glock 34 and John Wick. We'll go back through these since I've got my little piece right there where you can actually see some stuff. That's the tore up arm. Got hit by a grenade head. Looks like his whole head got tore up. Dude looks like he needs to be hanging out with Wolverine when Wolverine was tearing dudes up. And there's the I'm screaming at you face. That's the one that came on him. Well, we're going with a chill Keanu face. All right, let's get over here to some accessories because he has no shortage of those. We'll start off. Take some tape off, start off with. Go ahead and put his sidearm and his holster right there. So, you know what? We need to stick it in his hand first, see how that holds in that hand. Well, these hands these hands right here look like they might be a little more for that one looks like he can hold a gun right there. But we're gonna go ahead and change that hand out. Is this hand? Well, maybe not. We'll change that hand out. Yeah. All right. All right. Back to his accessories because there is no shortage of accessories. And when I see all these guns, I'm really thinking of Al Simmons, aka Spawn, with all the guns he has. And again, back to kind of the Punisher. So he's got him an AK-47. There's a reason why every movie in the world and every backworld country in the world, everybody's shooting AK-47s. Because they'll run forever and they'll shoot anything. And I don't know if you ever have to maintenance them. All right. I'm pretty knowledgeable about guns, but I don't actually know what this one is. It does look like it has a grenade launcher mounted on the bottom or a pump shotgun on the bottom. And then you got your, I imagine that's 5.56 coming out of the top round wise. Again, that's either probably a pump shotgun or some sort of grenade launcher. All right. Then we got a whole reliable here. Probably a Remington 870 shotgun. Kind of surprised that he doesn't have like a more of a tactical shotgun. Maybe that represents his mortality, and you know he's probably had this gun for years. Then we got the grenade launcher that Poncho made famous in the Predator movie. When Jesse the Body Ventura, I believe his name in the movie is Blaine, says, "I don't have time to bleed," and Poncho says, "Do you have time to duck?" and rolls off about 4 or 5 grenades over their head and takes out a crow's nest full of bad dudes. The Tommy gun right here, definitely this represents his immortality. One thing I'm surprised there's not like some swords or anything in here. You'd think that would be kind of a big thing. Then we got an AR-15, probably an M4 model, which is a older model. No, it's got a newer stock on it. Even though it's got the old school M4 handle on the top, looks like it actually has a flared muzzle on the end. All right, and here's another. This is definitely this actually looks like an automatic shotgun with a grenade launcher on the bottom of it. Oh, I don't know what brand the shotgun is, but that's a thick top barrel and that's a big old magazine. Like I said, I actually do know a little bit about guns. Me and my dad and brother and brother-in-law, we're all shooters. We're not hunters, but we're shooters. So, all right, got all his accessories out. Let's see if we can get him to hold any of these things. Oh yeah, wow, that's pretty sweet right there. It actually wraps finger and all on the trigger guard. Nice. I think Keanu Reeves might be left-handed, honestly, now that I think about it. You could actually stick his finger in there. Berserker stand here. I said I am kind of surprised there's not any with him being an immortal character, like some old school like broadswords or things like that. I like that. That's pretty sweet right there. All I can think of is the line in Pulp Fiction where the guy comes out and misses John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson when he unloads that 44, and the guy goes, "Did you see the size of that gun? It was bigger than him. That was a hand cannon." Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. That is definitely a weapon you don't shoot with one hand right there. Man, I'm very impressed with the artistic, again, they have it where his daggum finger goes through the trigger guard here. That's pretty sweet. That's probably why I couldn't get a handgun in his hand because I wasn't paying attention to that. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe he's got to stay with the lefty here. Yeah, that looks like an AR with a shotgun on the bottom. The grenade launcher is definitely another gun where you ain't shooting that with one hand. Dude, I am digging this figure. This is cool. Definitely when my Punisher comes in, we're gonna have to do a side-by-side standoff between the Punisher and the Berserker. Put a sidearm back in. All right, grenade launcher down. Now the shotgun, that might be, which they actually have like an extra bow right there. Most shotguns are a lot straighter right there, so it is made kind of just for his hand. So we could probably do the one shoulder with the shotgun, even though you have to pump it. Then go over here toward the Tommy gun. Or if he's a one-man army back in Tommy gun days, he'd just hit the door with the shotgun to breach the door, and then he could have one-handed the Tommy gun. I don't know how many rounds Tommy guns hold. I think they hold about 50, depending on the size of the drum. Oh. This is good that I'm wearing my Hickok 45 shirt today, since I'm reviewing the BRZRKR. I'm very impressed. Like I said, I do mostly older. I hate to call them vintage because a lot of them aren't vintage. They're just old, but vintage toy openings and unboxing. So this is really, really cool. All right. Now, here's where you can actually probably go double-fisted. You can shoot an AR with one arm. I don't know if you hit anything, but you can definitely shoot a bite with one arm. So we can go AR over here. Little Arnold Schwarzenegger style in Commando. Sweet, sweet. Awesome toy. Excellent. I mean, everything moves. Like I said, all the joints move. Extra hands, extra arm, extra knife. I said, I rated toys. I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. I mean, if I was going to be nitpicky, maybe like a backpack or something where you can put an extra weapon back here, maybe. But if you were me or my brother, you're just gonna get a rubber band or some string, and you'll strap that thing back there. Maybe a little silly putty, and also maybe like I said, some medieval type weapons, things like that. If he is an immortal. Again, I don't know anything about a BRZRKR. I was literally watching YouTube a month ago and saw this and was like, "Wow, man, that looks really, really cool." And then when I started kind of looking it up, I realized it was done by Keanu Reeves and created by Keanu Reeves. Now it is done by McFarlane Toys, Boom Studio. Definitely probably don't want to be buying this for our 7 or 8-year-old, but this is a great, great action figure. Great articulation, great mobility, a little loose in the shoulders, but I think that's just to give him a lot of range of motion. Like his vest and all, that's his tactical vest is not actually solid, so it comes around, hooks on. Now it doesn't look like you're supposed to take it off. If I let my son hold this, he'd find a way to try to take that off. And his belt, his belt looks like it's a separate piece also. Yeah, it is. Doesn't have a spot to take it off, but probably could right there, but I'm not going to start tearing stuff off. So there you go, the BRZRKR. If you like Keanu Reeves, if you like John Wick, if you like The Punisher, you like Highlander, any of that stuff, you're probably going to love this figure. I look forward to checking out the comic books. And I imagine, again, I don't think it's going to be too long before we get an actual movie of some sort. Ladies and gentlemen, the BRZRKR, and it is spelled weird, BRZRKR. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Everybody have a great day. Tiger out.